May 9th, 1864. Spotsylvania Courthouse, Virginia. The sun is barely up. Two armies face each other across 900 yards of open ground. The Union's 6th Corps is repositioning its artillery. Officers are moving. Soldiers are adjusting. Everything is loud, chaotic, and exposed. Then the whistling starts. It is high-pitched, mechanical, like nothing anyone has heard from a rifle before. Men on the Union line hear it, and they drop. They dive into ditches. They press themselves flat against the earth. They do not know exactly where the shots are coming from. They only know what that sound means. Major General John Sedgwick watches his men scramble. He has been shot at before. He has been wounded before. He has stood in front of Confederate fire more times than he can count. He is not afraid of a whistle. He walks into the open. His Chief of Staff, Brevet Major General Martin McMahon, is standing beside him. Sedgwick notices a soldier flinching at a nearby bullet and turns to him. His voice is steady, almost amused. "What? Men dodging this way for single bullets? What will you do when they open fire along the whole line? I am ashamed of you. They could not hit an elephant at this distance." His men do not stop flinching. He says it again. "I am ashamed of you, dodging that way. They could not hit an elephant at this distance." The words are barely finished. Sedgwick falls forward. A bullet hole sits below his left eye. He is dead before his body hits the ground. One of the highest-ranking Union officers of the entire war, gone in a single second. The shooter is never found. 5 Confederate soldiers will later claim the shot. None will ever be confirmed. The bullet that kills him is not round. It is hexagonal, 6 flat sides, spinning at a rate of 1 full turn every 20 inches, fired from somewhere between 800 and 1,000 yards away. At that distance, a man's entire body is smaller than a thumbprint to the naked eye. The rifle that fires it weighs 9 pounds. It was built in Manchester, England. The British Army rejected it. The Confederacy bought it anyway. Its name is the Whitworth. Manchester, England, 1854. A man sits inside a workshop surrounded by tools he built himself, measuring devices accurate to 1/1,000,000th of an inch, and a single question that refuses to leave him alone. Why does the British Army rifle shoot so badly? His name is Joseph Whitworth. He is 51 years old. He is not a soldier. He has never fought in a war. He is a machine maker, the best one alive. He builds lathes, he builds planers. He builds screw-cutting tools so precise that the entire British engineering industry runs on his standards. If something needs to be measured, Whitworth has already built the instrument that measures it. Now the British War Department has handed him a problem. The Patton 1853 Enfield rifle is the standard weapon of the British Army. It has just come back from the Crimean War looking embarrassed. Soldiers are missing targets at distances that should be easy. The rifle is inconsistent. Parts from one Enfield do not fit another Enfield. The grooves cut into the barrel, the rifling, grip the bullet unevenly, shave lead off the sides, and slow the projectile down before it even leaves the muzzle. The British Army is handing its soldiers a precision instrument built without precision. Whitworth does not guess at solutions. He builds a 500-yard testing gallery on his own grounds in Manchester. It is slated, 20 feet high, 16 feet wide, lined with screens of tissue paper, so thin that a bullet passing through leaves a perfect hole. He can track the exact path of every round he fires. He fires hundreds of them. He measures everything. He identifies the problem immediately. The Enfield uses a grooved barrel. Spiral channels are cut into the inside of the barrel walls. When the bullet is fired, it expands under pressure and bites into those grooves. The grooves spin the bullet. The spin stabilizes the bullet. That is the theory. The reality is different. Cutting into the bullet deforms it. The friction slows it. The Enfield's rifling makes 1 full turn every 78 inches. Barely any spin at all. Tighter rifling would produce more spin and more accuracy, but it would also increase friction and slow the bullet further. Every solution creates a new problem. Whitworth throws out the entire system. He does not cut grooves into his barrel. He reshapes the barrel itself. Instead of a round tube with grooves scratched into it, he builds a barrel with 6 flat sides, a hexagon, that twists as it runs from breech to muzzle. 1 full turn every 20 inches. More than 3 times tighter than the Enfield. The bullet does not need to bite into anything. It is cast in the same hexagonal shape as the barrel. It slides in. It locks perfectly against all 6 walls at once. The barrel grips it completely, evenly, without deforming it. Every point of the bullet's journey, from the chamber to the muzzle, it is held firmly by all 6 sides simultaneously. It exits the barrel, spinning fast, undamaged, and stable. Whitworth also changes the bullet's shape. The Enfield uses a short, wide projectile. Whitworth uses a long, narrow one, 0.451 inches in diameter, compared to the Enfield's 0.577. Longer and slimmer bullets cut through air more cleanly. They lose velocity more slowly. They drift less in the wind. They stay on course at distances where the Enfield's bullet has already begun to tumble. 1857, the British War Department arranges a head-to-head trial. The Whitworth rifle and the Enfield rifle are tested side by side, and the results are not close. At 500 yards, the Whitworth groups its shots inside a 4.44-inch circle. The Enfield groups inside 26.88 inches, 6 times larger. At 800 yards, the Whitworth groups at 12 inches. The Enfield groups at 49 inches. At 1,100 yards, the Whitworth groups at 28 inches. The Enfield groups at 96 inches. At 1,400 yards, the Whitworth still hits the target consistently. The Enfield records no hits. At 1,800 yards, just over 1 mile, the Whitworth places its shots inside a 139-inch group. The Enfield is not even fired. There is no point. The Whitworth outperforms the Enfield at a rate of 3-to-1. A small number of Whitworth rifles are fitted with something that makes them even more lethal: a telescopic sight with 4-power magnification. It was designed by British Colonel David Davidson. It mounts to the left side of the stock rather than the top. It has a reputation for giving its user a black eye on every shot because the rifle's recoil drives the scope backward with force. Confederate sharpshooters go into battle with bruised eyes. They go anyway. With the scope, the rifle has a confirmed killing range of 1,500 to 1,800 yards, about a mile. At that distance, without the scope, a standing man looks smaller than the period at the end of this sentence. The Whitworth weighs 9 pounds. Other long-range rifles of the era are heavier, with thicker barrels that make them impractical to carry across a battlefield. The Whitworth is light enough to carry, accurate enough to kill at a mile, and small enough to hide behind a tree. The British government says no. 2 reasons. First, the hexagonal barrel fouls faster than the Enfield. Black powder leaves residue. Round barrels clean easily. 6-sided barrels trap grime in the corners, so more cleaning is required more often. Second, the Whitworth costs 4 times as much to manufacture as the Enfield. The precision required to machine a perfectly hexagonal, perfectly twisted barrel is far beyond anything a standard armory can produce. The best rifle in the world is rejected because it is too good to make cheaply. The French army buys it. Then in 1860, the British National Rifle Association holds its first annual meeting at Wimbledon. The opening shot is fired by Queen Victoria herself, from a Whitworth rifle fixed to a mechanical rest, aimed at a target 400 yards away. She fires it by pulling a cord from a safe distance. The bullet strikes the bull's eye 1¼ inches from centre. The most accurate rifle on earth just fired its first public shot in front of the Queen of England. Across the Atlantic, people are paying attention. In 1861, 11 southern states withdraw from the United States and form the Confederate States of America. They declare war. They have almost no weapons manufacturing capacity. The Union has factories. The Confederacy has farms. The Union can produce Springfield rifles by the hundreds of thousands. The Confederacy needs to buy from abroad or lose before the fighting properly begins. Confederate agents travel to England. They purchase hundreds of thousands of Pattern 1853 Enfield rifles. They buy gunpowder, artillery, uniforms, and medicine. Everything runs through a network of blockade runners, fast, shallow draft ships that slip through the Union naval blockade under cover of darkness, through the narrow inlets along the Confederate coastline, most often off Cape Fear, North Carolina, under the protection of Fort Fisher. Running the blockade is dangerous. Ships are captured, cargo is seized, men are arrested or drowned, but the profit is enormous and the Confederacy is desperate. Somewhere in those negotiations, someone brings up the Whitworth. It costs $100 in peacetime. Under wartime conditions, the price climbs to $500, then $1,000. That is enough money to buy a dozen standard rifles. The Confederacy buys them anyway, as many as they can get through the blockade, which is not many. Estimates range from 150 to 600. Most historians settle near 250. These rifles do not go to regular soldiers. The Confederate Army identifies its best marksmen, men who grew up hunting, men who can read wind and distance, men with the patience to lie still for hours in the dirt, waiting for a single clean shot. These men are given the Whitworth. They are trained to use it from a fixed rest, a log, a fence post, a forked stick they carry themselves. They are sent to accompany regular infantry units with a specific mission: kill the artillery crews. An artillery battery without its crew is a pile of metal. Whitworth sharpshooters creep within range, set up their rest, find a crew member in the scope, and fire. One shot. Then they wait, reload, and fire again. But when the opportunity presents itself, they raise their sights higher. They aim at the men on horseback, the men pointing at maps, the men with the medals, the men whose deaths do not just remove one soldier from the field, they remove the mind that directs hundreds of soldiers. Union officers stop standing in the open. Union generals stop pointing from hilltops. The entire command structure of the Union Army begins to crouch. 250 rifles. That is all it takes to make an army afraid to lead. There is a specific kind of fear that a Whitworth creates. It is not the fear of a cannon. A cannon announces itself. The ground shakes, the smoke rises. Every soldier on the field knows where it is and roughly when it will fire again. A cannon is loud and obvious and present. The Whitworth is none of those things. The Whitworth is silent until the bullet arrives. By the time a Union soldier hears the whistle, the round has already travelled hundreds of yards. There is no time to move. There is no way to locate the shooter. There is no warning. One moment a man is standing, the next moment he is on the ground, and nobody knows where the shot came from. The Confederate High Command understands exactly what this means. Killing a private removes one rifle from the field. Killing a general removes every order that general would have given for the rest of the war. Every charge, every flanking maneuver, every decision about when to hold and when to retreat. A general is not one man. A general is the brain of an entire corps. Put a Whitworth bullet through that brain and the body stumbles. The sharpshooters are not sent out to fight. They are sent out to decapitate. September 19th, 1863, Chickamauga, Georgia. The battle is already going badly for the Union. Confederate forces under General Braxton Bragg have pushed hard into the Union line. General William Rosecrans is trying to hold his army together. Units are repositioning. Officers are moving fast, trying to plug gaps in the line before everything collapses. Union General William Haynes Lytle is one of those officers. Lytle is a poet and a lawyer in peacetime. In war, he leads from the front. He is 36 years old. On this morning, his brigade is in serious trouble, flanked on multiple sides, taking fire from every direction. Lytle does not retreat. He rides forward into the chaos to lead a counterattack personally. Somewhere in the tree line, a Confederate sharpshooter is watching. The shooter has a Whitworth. He has a rest, he has time. Lytle is on horseback in full uniform, riding toward enemy lines. He is exactly the kind of target the Whitworth was built to find. A single shot. Lytle is knocked from his horse. He is mortally wounded. The counterattack dissolves without him. When Confederate soldiers reach the body and identify him as a general, they do not strip the corpse. They place an honor guard over it and hold it until Union forces can recover him properly. Even the men who killed him recognize what just happened. A rifle fired from the shadows has reached across the battlefield and removed a general from a charging formation. The counterattack fails. The Union line at Chickamauga collapses entirely the following day. One shot, one body, one less mind directing the battle. May 9th, 1864, Spotsylvania Courthouse, Virginia. The audience has already seen this moment, but they have not seen all of it. John Sedgwick is not a reckless man. He is a careful, experienced combat general who has survived multiple wounds across multiple engagements. He has been shot at so many times that incoming fire has become background noise. On May 8th, the day before he dies, a spent Whitworth bullet strikes him and fails to penetrate. He brushes it off. The morning of May 9th is perfect for a sharpshooter. The Confederate position is dug in less than 900 yards from the Union front. The two armies are close. Sedgwick's headquarters is 100 feet behind the Union line, almost at the front itself. The Union Corps is adjusting artillery positions, which means officers are moving in the open, pointing, directing, standing upright. The Whitworth sharpshooter settles in. He finds his rest. He looks through the Davidson scope. He watches the Union officers moving along the line. He waits for the right moment and the right target. Then the whistling starts. Rounds begin landing near the Union position. Staff members drop for cover. Artillerymen flatten themselves against the ground. The high-pitched shriek of the hexagonal bullet is already deeply conditioned into Union soldiers by this point in the war. Every man who has heard it before knows what it means. Sedgwick watches his men flinch and decides to make a point. He steps into the open. He walks deliberately. He berates a soldier for ducking. His chief of staff, McMahon, stands nearby. Sedgwick puts his hand on McMahon's shoulder and tells him the Confederates cannot hit an elephant at this distance. McMahon will later write that he turned away for a moment. Then he heard a sound like a bird singing near his ear. Sedgwick fell against him, then slid to the ground. The bullet enters below his left eye. He is dead before anyone can do anything. The entire 6th Corps stops moving. Men who moments ago were going about routine battlefield tasks are now standing still, staring at the ground where their commander has just been killed. 5 Confederate soldiers claim the shot. The identity of the shooter is never confirmed. The distance is estimated between 800 and 1,000 yards. The hexagonal shape of the bullet recovered from the wound confirms the rifle. Sedgwick is the highest-ranking Union officer killed in the entire Civil War. He is killed by a man he never saw, from a distance he did not believe was possible, with a rifle that the British Army decided was too expensive to bother with. The summer of 1864, Fort Stevens, Washington, D.C., Confederate General Jubal. Early launches a raid on the Union capital itself. His forces push to the outskirts of Washington, and Fort Stevens is one of the defensive positions guarding the city's northern edge. The fighting comes close enough that civilians come out to watch from the ramparts. One of those civilians is Lincoln. A Confederate Whitworth sharpshooter is positioned several hundred yards away. His scope is on the crowd at Fort Stevens. He is scanning faces, uniforms, heights. Then he finds the tall man in the stovepipe hat. Lincoln is standing in the open, watching the battle, visible and exposed. He is the President of the United States. He is the Commander-in-Chief of the entire Union war effort. He is within the Whitworth's confirmed killing range. The sharpshooter has his shot. He does not take it, not because he chooses mercy, because a federal officer grabs Lincoln by the arm and pulls him out of the line of sight before the trigger is pulled. Spent Whitworth bullets are later found near the parapet where Lincoln was standing. An officer positioned a few feet from the president is shot dead by a sharpshooter round during the same engagement. Lincoln survives by a few feet, by seconds, and by the instinct of one unnamed Union officer who happened to pull him away at the right moment. Had Lincoln died at Fort Stevens in 1864, the war's outcome, its terms, its length, its aftermath, would have changed in ways no one can calculate. The Confederacy's best chance at a negotiated peace runs through the death of the man most determined to deny them one. The Whitworth nearly delivers it. The rifle is not without its limits. It is a muzzle loader. After every shot, the sharpshooter must pour powder down the barrel, seat the hexagonal bullet with a ramrod, prime the percussion cap, and then take aim again. In the time it takes to reload, a cavalry charge can cover 200 yards. An infantry unit can shift position entirely. A target can vanish behind cover. The sharpshooter gets one shot per engagement, one clean attempt per position. If he misses, the target is gone. If the barrel fouls, and hexagonal barrels foul fast, he must clean it before he can fire accurately again. The scope gives him a black eye every time the rifle recoils. Ammunition is specially manufactured. Hexagonal bullets are not standard issue. They cannot be fabricated in a field camp. If a sharpshooter runs out of his own rounds, he cannot pull ammunition from a dead soldier's cartridge box. He carries what he has, and when it is gone, the rifle is a club. And yet, fewer than 250 of these rifles make it through the Union blockade. Fewer than 250 are handed out to an entire army. Most units never see one. Some Confederate soldiers fight the entire war without ever hearing the Whitworth's whistle. And still, generals fall, officers crouch, Lincoln nearly dies. The Union Army, with its hundreds of thousands of Springfield rifles, its industrial manufacturing base, its standardized ammunition and interchangeable parts, is disrupted and terrorized and structurally damaged by a weapon so scarce that you could fit every example of it into a single warehouse. The Whitworth does not win the war for the Confederacy. Nothing does. But it proves something that no one had proven before with a shoulder-fired rifle. One man, one shot, the right target. From far enough away, it can change everything. The Civil War ends in April 1865. Whitworth does not. The hexagonal bore that Joseph Whitworth machined in his Manchester workshop in 1854 does not disappear with the Confederacy. It goes quiet for a few decades, then the Germans pick it up. During World War II, engineers building the MG-42 machine gun need a way to produce barrels faster and at lower cost. They use cold hammer forging around a polygonal mandrel. The same principle. 6 flat sides, perfectly twisted. Whitworth's geometry is stamped into a new century of killing. Heckler & Koch adopt polygonal rifling in the 1960s for the G3 battle rifle. Glock builds it into every pistol it makes starting in the 1980s. Every Glock fired anywhere in the world today carries the direct mechanical descendant of the barrel Joseph Whitworth designed to kill Union generals. The Whitworth sharpshooters are the first dedicated sniper units in military history. Every sniper that comes after them, every hidden shooter, in every war fought since 1863, operates inside a doctrine those men created. Find the target, one shot, disappear. The rifle that Britain rejected, that the Confederacy smuggled through a naval blockade on desperate ships in the dark. It changed how wars are fought forever.